rained down and police personnel were injured. Tear gas had to be used to disperse the mob and 5 arrests have been made so far. Multiple videos have emerged. Crowds, it appears, were not spontaneous, as they hardly are, but deliberately mobilized. Religious slogans were raised. What makes this episode even more combustible is the political link. Samajwadi Party MP Mohibullah Nadwi was seen at the site. Was he lending legitimacy to mobocracy then, is the question. Political leaders are now raising questions of selective targeting, pointing to temples nearby that remain untouched. The narrative of victimhood is being woven and the judiciary itself is being dragged into the political storm. But as the dust settles over the Turkman Gate episodes, the capital stares at a disturbing reality. When the law is resisted with stones, when politicians stand shoulder to shoulder with mobs, and when court orders are met with violence, is that not the problem? And it isn't the first time this has happened. Why provide cover fire to mobs? Who is enabling this violence in the capital? We'll take that up and more with our guest joining us in just a bit. But here's what panned out as far as the national capital late last night is concerned. Bulldozers were rolling in at about midnight last night, and a mob of around 100 people had gathered. That's what the police says. At one point, it certainly looks a little bit bigger than this. But remember, there was also heavy police deployment. They started protesting, raising slogans, but as it usually happens, soon after, stone pelting started and several policemen were hurt. Now, what further raised eyebrows, as I said, was the presence of the Samajwadi Party MP Mohibullah Nadwi, who was also seen arguing with officials at the violent site. He can be seen in the melee with the protesters and with the heavy police deployment. Now remember, this is the same MP who had in parliament recently threatened that Muslims might have to do jihad because of the Waqf Amendment Bill and other court atrocities that are being meted out to them. As the situation spiraled, the authorities had to resort to a mild tear gas use and lathi charge in an attempt to control the situation. The police does say that the situation was stabilized fairly quickly. Now, at the helm of this chaotic showdown remains the Delhi High Court order. Here's what that order is stating. Now, the court ordered the removal of illegal encroachments spanning about 38,940 square feet. This is surrounding the Ramlila ground. This is actually property considered to be part of the Ramlila ground. A November 12, 2025 order granted the MCD and the PWD 3 months to clear this site. The action targeted unauthorized commercial and community buildings, mind you. These include a banquet hall, a dispensary, shops and illegal road or footpath extensions. The officials had confirmed to all concerned that the mosque itself and even the adjoining dargah remain untouched as they occupy the land covered under a valid 1940 lease. Now, just hours before the demolition, though, the Delhi High Court issued notices to several authorities, including the MCD, the DDA, the Delhi Waqf Board, in response to a petition filed by the Mosque Managing Committee. The committee argued that the land is a notified Waqf property and specifically sought to protect a graveyard on the site. Justice Amit Bansal noted that the matter court requires consideration, but there was no stay on the demolition of the other encroached commercial structures, leading to this late-night operation on January 7. The case is now next scheduled for a hearing on April 22. Let me just also, for the benefit of our viewers, show you the area in question. These are illegal encroachments in the area surrounding the Faiz-e-Ilahi Masjid near the Ramlila ground. So here is the Ramlila ground. There is the empty space that you see. It's a very popular ground in the national capital. This is the mosque per se, but there are illegal encroachments, etc., that are done around the mosque property. The mosque gate, etc., itself has been considered to have encroached space that is technically not their property anymore. So the mosque is untouched. Why this furor? Why the mobocracy? Why a street veto to a court order? And more importantly, who is enabling this pelter terror in the capital? That's the big debate coming up with our guests.
गाइस, आप देख सकते हैं ये दरगाह का क्या हाल है।
भाई ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग भाई दरगाह फैजलाई पे पहुँचे। इन्होंने देखो बिल्डोजर भी बुला लिए हैं और इनकी पूरी मिलिट्री भी आ गई है। आप लोगों से भाई हाथ जोड़ के गुजारिश है।
सभी लोग को पता है कि कोर्ट के आदेश में हमने ये कार्रवाई की है।
बीजेपी की सरकारें हैं उसमें ऐसा लगता है कि वो किसी विशेष धर्म को या विशेष चीज़ों को लेकर थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा उसमें एक्टिव दिखती है।
भाई जब जायदाद वक्फ की तो वक्फ क्यों नहीं है सर्वे में?
जो ऐसे उत्पाद कर रहे हैं वो गलत है, उसके ऊपर पुलिस ने अपनी जो कार्रवाई करनी है।
I spoke to Joint CP in the Delhi Police, Madhur Verma, on what transpired and what is the action that has been taken. Listen into what he said. What happened when the demolition drive was underway? Can you detail for our viewers? Also, what has the investigation found so far? Because 5 individuals have already been arrested for stone pelting.
True. It was around 12:50 when MCD was about to start the demolition. There were incident of stone pelting reported from this Chandni Mahal area. There were a few miscreants, maybe around 80 to 100 in number, and they started pelting stones towards the police party. However, we had an adequate deployment. We followed the graded use of force. We used our tear shells, and they scattered. And we immediately detained and apprehended 5 of them. And thereafter, in a matter of minutes, they all scattered. And the entire process of encroachment removal carried on peacefully thereafter. That it started around 1 a.m. in the midnight and continued till 7 in the midnight. And at the moment also there is complete normalcy, and the process of debris removal is being carried out.
So 5 individuals have been arrested. How many more do you suspect were part of the stone pelting act itself? And what stage is the investigation is at?
We have registered the case. 5 persons we have arrested. They are being produced to the magistrate. We are also investigating the conspiracy angle. Why there were some social media posts also which were instigating or asking the residents to come out and protest. So we are investigating those social media posts also, and then we have body-worn cameras with our police officers on duty. So we are checking the images from those body-worn cameras. At the moment, apart from these 5 arrests, more than 10 persons have also been interrogated, and they are they have at present been detained and interrogated, and their role is being probed. So investigation is going on.
There is the presence of a SP MP, a parliamentarian on ground, which has come to light. Those visuals are also going viral. What can you tell us about the role that this parliamentarian, Mr. Nadvi, played?
As of now, I do not have much to share about the role as far as this investigation of this case is concerned. As we started the process of demolition and encroachment removal around 1 o'clock, and as per my understanding, by then that Honorable MP was not at that scene. So, keeping into view the all possibilities, our investigating team is looking into all aspects. As of now, I don't have much to share on that aspect.
But people had collected before this demolition drive was supposed to happen around 1 a.m. in the night. How many were there?
People, you mean protesters? They were. Our initial estimate was that around 10 or 11 in the night there were around 100 to 150 persons. That was in some of. Then there were some few of them probably added and few left also when the police party started coming for arrangement. Actually, our deployment started at 11 11 a.m. and continued till midnight. So around there were maybe around 100 odd individuals were left, and they only probably pelted stones. However, the situation was brought to control in matter of minutes only, and entire exercise carried out without any hindrance for the entire duration.
So some questions are arising on why this happened in the dead of the night, post midnight or at midnight. Can you explain to us why the demolition drive was carried out at night?
See, your question has got two aspects about the presence. This is a very thickly populated area of Old Delhi. This area comprises of Kamla Market, Chandni Mahal, and Daryaganj. There is, a very thickly populated area, and there was, of course, some sentiment being, thrown to the masses, which is against the administration, against the corporation, against the police. Otherwise also, whenever there is encroachment removal drive, there are groups who resist it. So, though Delhi police had taken number of meetings, explained it to them, Nagarik Suraksha Samitis, Aman Committee meetings. So even then, there were maybe 100 or 150 persons who were present, which is not, very abnormal as far as that number is concerned. And regarding the timing of the drive, I believe, if we carry out, because this was a massive encroachment removal exercise, it required a lot of diversion of traffic, especially the traffic from Minto Road, Minto Bridge to coming towards, LNJP or maybe Asaf Ali Road, or similarly from Bahadur Shah Jafar, the traffic going towards this LNJP, and which is, or the traffic coming from Rajghat had to be diverted. So the best possible scenario is to carry these exercises, when there is least effect to the commuters. So timing, I don't, see anything wrong in choosing the timing of night hours, and especially, when we are doing an exercises in a very thickly populated area.
Joining us now, our guest Gopal Agarwal, national spokesperson of the BJP, and Vivek Shilas is national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party with us. Vivek, I begin with you. What was the need for your parliamentarian to go to this area, raise heckles, and, basically with his presence, lend any support to the kind of protest that was going on with stones being pelted, bottles being thrown at the police officials? This is, after all, after a court order.
First of all, good evening to you and the viewers, to Mr. Agarwal as well. I think after the statement just now given by the Commissioner of Police Delhi, I have nothing very substantial to say. You must have heard and seen the statement of Mr. The Samajwadi Party member of Parliament. When he heard that the news that something was happening at Turkman Gate, he was worried that the people might go out of control. So he went to the spot. And he went there and appealed to the people to go back to their homes. It can be seen in the video that he is appealing to the people to be calm. And obviously, it was a court order given by the court, and it was implemented. Why to make a hue and cry of it?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why his presence is raising eyebrows. He's suggesting he was there for a particular reason. But this is the same MP from your party who had recently spoken in Parliament, and in the context of the Waqf Amendment Bill, had gone on to say that Muslims in India will have to do jihad. And this is not like, I'm not contextualizing it. I'm not paraphrasing him. He said Muslims will have to do jihad because of what is happening to them. And this was in context of the Waqf Amendment Bill.
Yeah, that could have been his personal views, what he said, that doesn't mean that the party is saying about it. Party is saying something or following his
You
orders,
don't think it's a problem that the party should look at, that your MP is saying Muslims will have to do jihad?
No, ma'am, let me tell you one more thing. You were talking about stone pelting and, bottles throwing on the policemen. You just now mentioned it, Shivani ji. You know what? I'll just remind the viewers who are watching it, and I'm reminding you and Mr. Agarwal as well, that 14,000 stone pelter cases were taken back in Kashmir by the Bharatiya Janata Party, claiming that they are innocent just to form the government in Kashmir. Please do question the Bharatiya Janata Party.
I don't think they were ever claimed as innocent. The amnesty given in Jammu and Kashmir.
Their cases were taken back, Shivani.
Yes, the amnesty, one second, the amnesty given in Jammu and Kashmir to young stone pelters is a completely different issue, because Jammu and Kashmir cannot be compared to the national capital, mind you.
Why? Jammu and Kashmir is not a part of India. That
But
is
it
what you
has
need to
been
say.
terrorism ridden, it has been conflict ridden. Please don't compare it to the national capital. This is like 3 kilometers away from the parliament.
We have seen terrorist activities recently in Delhi as well. What are you talking?
Please
What
don't
are you
compare
talking?
Kashmir and national capital, sir. I think you
Why?
understand the point that I'm
Both are
making.
part of India. Both are part of India, Shivani ji.
So you are saying
What are
strong
you-
action should be taken against stone pelters in this case, right?
Of course, it should be taken.
But you
Law
didn't answer my
should-
question. Vivek Shilas, before I go to Gopal Agarwal, you didn't answer my question. Your parliamentarian was on record to say Muslims will have to do jihad. I think that's a pretty inflammatory call to Indian Muslims by him, whatever the context may be in parliament. Then he goes to this spot. You say he's gone to soothe down the nerves of those protesting. But why would people believe that if he has made such statements in context of Waqf Amendment Bill and this property is being claimed as Waqf property, so it all kind of comes together.
Shivani ji, I would just request you with my folded hands, if you can show me just one video about the Samajwadi Party parliamentarian yesterday night that he was trying to provoke the mob. Can you show me just one? Just one. 5 seconds to say. What did the commissioner of police say? That his presence was not there. There were about 80 to 100 people. And
No,
it
he
was a
said his
matter of
presence
few
was
minutes.
there, but not when he was there. Not when the
Of
police
course.
CP himself
And it was
there.
a matter of minutes that the mob had to go back. It took police, according to the commissioner of police, it took a few minutes for the Delhi
So
police.
you would
to
not be
scatter the
in
mob.
approval. Your party will not be in approval if he was seen there trying to join hands or make a truck with the protesters. You would not approve of it, right?
Of course. And if anyone, be it the Samajwadi Party leader or member of parliament or
Okay.
anyone from the Bharatiya Janata Party or Congress, no one is allowed to take the law in
Okay,
his
so now
hands.
tomorrow
As
if he
simple as
makes a
that.
statement, I'm going to keep this. If tomorrow he makes a statement in support of these protesters, then Samajwadi Party would be duty bound to take some action because he's already
Yeah,
said
you
Muslims
can-
will have to
you can- you
do
can-
jihad
you-
and then he will be seen at this protest site. Okay.
You can
Gopal
call me to
Krishna
your
Agarwal.
studio, I'll answer your questions.
Fair enough. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, respond to what Vivek Shilas is saying, that just his mere presence doesn't mean that he was instigating protests. Police has not said anything on his role, but the BJP has already kind of leveled a charge on all opposition parties that, you instigate protests even against court orders. We've had statements come in from the likes of Asaduddin Owaisi, from the likes of Sandeep Dikshit in the national capital, but they're only saying that, there is a heightened action against Muslims in India under your government.
Johnny, we have to understand the history also behind it, what is happening. Before 2014, in 2013, 123 important properties were handed over to work by the then government at that point of time. Why it was done before, just when the election was declared for 2014? It was for appeasement. We have seen since independence how the Waqf property is growing across India and it has become the largest property owner other than railway and defense. How it is done, who are controlling the Waqf, how much they are doing it for the benefit of the common people, downtrodden people in their community, and how much it is benefiting the people who are in control of the Waqf property, Waqf board. So these are the issues very important. And when the action is taken against them, there is an ecosystem, ecosystem which rises against this and creates this narrative that only one particular community is being identified and attacked by the ruling party. When you do this kind of act before 2014, you hand over 123 properties, important properties to one particular community to create a vote bank, to create an appeasement politics, to create a communal politics in the country. Then if you have to take action against those 123 properties which have been illegal, which have been taken through the manipulative process of work.
Okay.
Then if we are taking action and implementing the court order, rule of the law, and this is because one particular community is facing the charge because since independence there was a communal political atmosphere ruling dispensations which were doing communal politics in purely name of secular
Okay,
politics.
5
so
seconds.
They
Vivek
were
Shilash,
easy
please
to
respond.
get.
BJP is not shying away from saying that a lot of these properties were one quote unquote gifted to the Muslim community, particularly the national capital property, very prime property. But all over the country, there's been a large debate of how a lot of properties have been just declared Waqf property, and there is no head or tails of how those properties became Waqf in the first place, including this mosque property. It is still under question, mind you. The case is still ongoing.
And
I
when we
think,
take action, there
Shivani
will
ji,
be
there are-
this kind of hue and cry.
Okay, Vivek.
No, I think there are honorable courts, High Court, Sessions Courts, Supreme Court in the country who are there to decide which property belongs to whom. And Mr. Agarwal just now pointed that it's the opposition says that one particular community is targeted. No, my dear. I'm
No,
sorry to say.
Sandeep Dixit, Owaisi,
It is.
even Congress leader,
It
SP
is.
leader, they are saying.
Agarwal ji, please, it's a serious matter. It is the Christians
people
also
are
who
saying,
are
now
targeted.
opposition leaders are saying.
It is the Christians
They are
also
saying-
who are targeted in India. And the message that is going through the Western world, we can see the repercussions about
Have
it.
you talked?
How Indians have been treated in
about
Christian
the
countries.
Hindus being
Now,
targeted in Bangladesh? No statement.
that is your responsibility.
But Shahil Imam,
That is
you
your
will talk about
responsibility.
Shahil Imam. You
Mr.
will talk
Agarwal,
about
that is entirely your responsibility.
Okay, can we come back to the
Yesterday
subject? One second. Can we come back to the subject? Vivek Shilash, is there an attempt, by and large, to provoke Indian Muslims, let's say because of that Waqf amendment? That amendment has also been scrutinized by the Supreme Court. Some sections have been put in abeyance, but it hasn't been nullified. But why is there this sense being promoted by leaders on ground, including your party leader, as I quoted him, that some injustice is being done?
नहीं, injustice is also done when the honorable prime minister says कि आपकी भैंस उठा ले जाएंगे, आपका मंगलसूत्र छीन ले जाएंगे और तो और आपकी बेटियों को घर से उठा के ले जाएंगे. What is that? Ultimately, we have to follow the law of the land.
वो तो
Being Indian and
infiltrator के लिए
responsible
कह रहे हैं.
citizens. हाँ? कपड़ों से
वो
किसको पहचान
infiltrator
लेते थे
के लिए
मिस्टर
कह रहे हैं.
अग्रवाल? ना. कपड़ों से
Illegal
किसको पहचान
immigrant
लेते हैं
के लिए कह रहे हैं.
प्रधानमंत्री? प्रधानमंत्री कपड़ों
Illegal
से किसको
immigrants
पहचानते
के
हैं
ऊपर कह रहे हैं सर.
या शिवानी जी को या मुझको?
प्रधानमंत्री जब कह रहे हैं,
हाँ?
वो इलीगल इमिग्रेंट्स के बारे में कह रहे हैं.
अरे कितने इलीगल इमिग्रेंट्स को आपने निकाला हिंदुस्तान से? आपसे 25 गुना ज्यादा तो
नहीं,
यूपीए की
क्योंकि
सरकार ने
एक
निकाला.
इकोसिस्टम काम कर रहा
अरे
है.
कब निकालोगे यार?
No, रुकिए. Let's not get
घुसपैठिया,
diverted.
घुसपैठिया,
Vivek ji, I have
घुसपैठिया,
limited
घुसपैठिया,
time. Please
घुसपैठिया
focus on the
कब तक?
issue. The bottom line here is that this is not the first time we've seen this. Stones have been pelted on Hindu processions. Stones have been pelted on police for other anti-encroachment drives. And any time it's the minority community involved, let's say it is their locality. It recently happened in Karnataka. Even Congress government was blamed for anti-Muslim politics. So basic point is that if it's an anti-encroachment drive, if it's the minority community that is involved on the other side, you cannot act on it. Should we send down that message?
I said what the Honorable High Court had given the verdict about this land, we have to follow that. Nothing, there is no second opinion about it. Not at all.
So
Not
you
at
don't-
all. We have to follow the law of the land.
Okay, last comments, Gopal Agarwal.
It is important to note that why most of the actions are being taken which particular community cries foul, it is because of the reason of appeasement politics before, one thing. Second thing, the reaction.
Crazy.
The provocation that the political cover and political persons give to them, this particular committee, is also important. When you start seeing any action of the court, implementation of the rule of law, from the vision of one particular religion or etc., that is
Mr.
creating
Agarwal, the police have
any
already
decision,
arrested five,
any action,
five of them.
any administrative
Let
action.
them not take its course.
No,
Five
now
of them
you're-
have been arrested. They
No,
will be
if
put into
Vivek
jail.
says,
Their plea will be heard in the
but
court.
his
And
party
justice
and
will be
his
done by the
alliances
law of
are
the
not
land. That
saying
is
what
all.
You know, it is ordinary Muslims who get embroiled in these cases. We are talking about this in the shadow of that Delhi riots case as well. We all know how instigation was done against anti-CA at that time. Whose lives get destroyed? It is ordinary Muslims' lives on ground. But who benefits from it? Maybe politicians who want to just, kind of
It's the party
spread
and the
this paranoia about victimhood. Maybe both sides. Let's say all sides benefit from it. But actual politics that would help Indian Muslims would be those politics that doesn't instigate them into taking the law in their hand, because then they suffer. Nobody comes to protect them afterwards. But I'll leave it at that. I do thank both of our guests for joining us. Moving on, ahead of civic polls in Maharashtra, the political allegiances have shifted completely towards convenience. In an apparent shift from hard-fought ideology, even the BJP came together, albeit briefly, with arch-enemy Congress. And even the AIMIM at two separate places. While the talks are now suspended, here's what had happened. In Ambernath, in a bid to keep the Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena out of power, the BJP had formed an alliance with the Congress, mind you. The alliance comprised of 14 BJP members, 12 from the Congress and 4 from the Ajit Pawar-led NCP and 1 independent. And in Akot, Municipal Council in Vidarbha's Akola district, the BJP established another unholy alliance, a tie-up with the AIMIM, which won 5 seats, the highest after the BJP there. Now, Maharashtra Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis himself has had to crack the whip. He has now pulled up the local units and has asked for these alliances to be scrapped. Both of these alliances in Ambernath with Congress and AIMIM in Akot now stand calcer, at least that's what the BJP has said. Furthermore, the Maharashtra BJP is mulling disciplinary action against local leaders. Speaking of local body elections though, the big one is the BMC ballot. I travelled to Mumbai to get you this special plain speak debate on what are the issues that really matter on ground and who could be ahead as far as the BMC big battle is concerned. Welcome everyone. This is a very special edition of Plain Speak coming to you from the beautiful city of Mumbai. I'm Shivani Gupta joining you from the iconic Carter Road. Behind me is the symbol of development in Mumbai today. This is the new Bandra to Versova sea link coming up. Ahead are some mangroves, and mangroves are reminding us about the ecological concern that many Mumbaikars have today. So that's the development versus ecological concerns that Mumbai is dealing with like any other metropolitan city. But we are here in the city of Mumbai to talk ahead of the BMC elections and what can be expected politically, but also what citizens expect for this city. Joining me on the show is Shaina NC, spokesperson of the Shiv Sena. Next to her, Varun Singh, journalist from Mumbai, knows a thing or two about what can be expected. Mahesh Chavan from the NCP SP with us, currently fighting alongside UBT and MNS in a strange combine, but also a citizen of the city, senior lawyer Swapnil Kothari is also with us. I thank you all for making time and joining us here. I want to start with the journalist on the panel because everybody wants to know, with these new combinations coming up ahead of these elections, who is ahead, Varun?
So, to be very honest, to say something that who's ahead or who's behind would be, people would think I'm over smart. But what I see on the field right now is the Shiv Sena BJP alliance led by Shinde and Devendra Fadnavis is leading only because of a very simple reason, because they started their preparation way in advance. And in spite of, UBT and Raj Thackeray being together since June this year, last year, they haven't been able to field candidates on almost all the seats that they are contesting. That shows a big lacuna on their part, and even the public isn't able to connect with them. If you see, this is for the first time. We may be in Mumbai, but nearby there are multiple municipal corporations which are going for elections. It is Thane, Kalyan Dombivli, and in Kalyan Dombivli, 14 people on Bharatiya Janata Party ticket, one unopposed. That has been a bastion of Uddhav Thackeray for a very long time, Shiv Sena and Manse, MNS. And strangely, their own city president backed out at the last moment, MNS, which shows that in spite of creating such a hangama over here in Mumbai, they haven't been managed to do anything on the ground, and that is going to cost them a lot.
But the allegation of those BJP candidates or Sena candidates winning unopposed from, for example, the other alliance, including the NCP SP, is that they are being threatened. In fact, as your manifesto has been released, Raj Thackeray and others have made this allegation that BJP and Sena, because they're in power, are playing dirty games. The speaker is threatening those who are supposed to stand for elections. Is this already kind of preparing ground for a defeat coming up?
No, why defeat? Actually, as you must have seen the visuals everywhere, more than 70 seats already unopposed. Election Commission has also sought for the probe into this. So you saw Rahul Narvekarji, how he was behaving that day. Everything was done. It is there on camera. And secondly, see, obviously these elections are happening after 4 years, of administrative rule without elected corporators. So there are long-standing issues, core issues this city is facing. This city continues to struggle with bad quality of roads, potholes, every year flooding in the rains, and everywhere the roads are dug up and causing traffic jams, community delays, and all those things are there. Then apart from this, they are talking about the development. This so-called development isn't people-centric, For example, look at this metro or look at this coastal road which they are developing. So can a common man afford the toll which is 100 rupees single trip on this coastal road? Atal Setu for that matter is 250 rupees for single trip. And metro, for example, if you have to go from Andheri to Churchgate, it is the ticket is 70 rupees. So it is not for the common people, right? It is not people-centric development.
Is that true, Swapnil?
Well, Shivani, I mean, to be honest, with due respect to him, certain points is made valid, but I think as far as the mechanics of the money goes, I think people will be able to afford it, and people are travelling by the metro.
It is an expensive city.
It is an
Mumbai.
expensive city, and 70 rupees if you're talking from Andheri to Churchgate, people want to save time. And if I'm going to save time, for me, time is money in this city. And for very simple reasons, simplistically put, you talk about the coastal road and you have 200 rupees. That may be a little, hitting your, burning your pocket a little bit. But I think the people who are using it are the ones who use fuel in the cars and things like that, or even travel by Ola or Uber, because trucks and things like that are not allowed on those roads. But the point is, if you're talking about the ceiling, and then you're talking about this big development right here, that is going to really make a travel seamless in this city. So honestly, for me, any party that comes in, Shivani will have to look at the infrastructural expansion. If you don't talk about infrastructure in this city, you're going to lose, no matter if two brothers come back together, if there is a patch up between Mr. Fadnavis and Mr. Shinde, it
or
doesn't
the Pawar
matter.
family coming together in some places.
It doesn't matter. What matters ultimately is that people want development. And if anybody is willing to do that, we don't have a problem with who shakes hands with whom, because ultimately the results matter. For me, as a common man, as a common citizen, I don't care practically who sits at the top, as long as they do their job.
So this whole Marathi Manus thing is not a thing, is it?
Well, it could be for some people, but I don't really buy that. Not even possibly a lot of Maharashtrians don't buy that either, because ultimately they're going to say, fine, fair enough, you look for us, you're going to make reservations for us, but at the end of the day, then what? Yeah. Then what? That's the question. We've got to live in this goddamn city. Give me an admission in a college where I would not have got but for my religion, or but for my language. But then what? I have to travel from place 1 to place 2. What am I going to do?
Yeah. No, so predominantly those are the issues you hear about. Now, on the front of development, obviously the Fadnavis-led state government also believes that their track record is delivering development, but not, dragging for years and doing it quickly. Do you think that is your trump card? You are in power already in the state?
Shivani, not only our trump card, let me ask any Mumbaikar over here and they will tell you the monumental work which has been done on infrastructure. You talked about the metro, 411 kilometers connecting east to west, north to south. You talked about what we are seeing behind us. This is a continuation which goes from Bandra to Versova. These are all facilitated in timelines which are met with, whether it's the coastal road, the Atal Setu, the Nava Shriva link. The list is endless. And you talk about people saving money. Saving money is one part. We are saving our environment because of the carbon emissions. Do understand that yesterday our leader Eknathji Shinde and the Honorable Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis have announced 17,000 crores of the BMC budget for green initiatives. So we're a very responsible government that is working on all fronts, whether it's healthcare, education, better atmosphere, pollution, which is such a huge concern for people, and you come from Delhi, so you know how imperative it is. And you asked a question about the Marathi Manus. I must answer. We have a great pride for our Marathi Asmita, Marathi Abhiman and the Marathi Manus. Unlike the opposition that has only remembered this cause just just before elections, whether it's a Ramabai Nagar where 17,000 people have been rehabilitated, or a BDD Chawl where people who are of Marathi origin have come back to the city, or a Girni Kamgar where there are 30,000 mill workers all across the city of Mumbai who have been given homes. These are commitments, these are vision plans, these are not empty promises. And as Eknath Shinde ji always says, if it is for the common man, I am dedicated to that common man on ground.
But what about those concerns that many in Mumbai feel, and I've spoken to Mumbaikars who have been born and brought up here for decades, that the development is very haphazard, builders are taking over the city,
not.
And you are losing the ethos of the city.
Absolutely not. Look at the housing policy. Look at the decisions which are taken for the tenants of Mumbai. First time in the history ever. Pagdi system. Look at the cluster redevelopment. Where have these projects been executed in the past? We talk about the coastal road. Do you know how many governments came and went? It is under the Mahayuti, under Devendra Fadnavis and Eknath Shinde ji, that it has been executed. Timelines, lives being saved, and the environment. Please understand, climate change is the biggest concern. Today you ask the youngsters in Mumbai, what will they tell you? They want to vote for development, yes, but they also want to vote for their health and security.
Actually, that reminds me, Varun, I wanted to ask you, one of those things that development versus environment concern was typified by that RA forest protest, right? And it delayed the metro quite a bit. Do you think Mumbaikars have come to the realization that maybe that was misplaced, and what they really needed in the long term was the metro to ease their lives and also ease environmental concerns?
Absolutely. See, to be very honest, you said a bit. That bit is 14,000 crore rupees, which is a huge amount, because of which this person's government, sorry to point, but you belong to that party, his government delayed it purposely. They didn't find a resolution or solution or an option for it. And they are the people because of whom I would peg the loss at 1 lakh crore. So many people died in train.
Mumbaikars also were concerned, right? It's not just
who were those
parties.
Mumbaikars? The population of Mumbai is around to 1 crore 50 lakh. Out of that, not even 1% people came on the street. And that is what we need to understand. People of Mumbai do come on the street when it matters. And those people who came on the streets that day are those people who run in cars which cost billions and emits gallons of gases. These are the people who want to talk on environmental pollution. I have my serious doubts. One thing I wanted to point to him was about unopposed candidates. May 2020. Today, Uddhav Thackeray said that people contesting or winning unopposed is an insult to democracy. I just have one question. May 2020, he won unopposed on the MLC constituent seat. Did he insult democracy? Can he say that Uddhav Thackeray should resign and should never contest unopposed? Yashwantrao Chauhan in 1962 won unopposed from Nasik over here. Lakshadweep, 1972, the Congress MP won unopposed. There are so many. In the history of India, 194 people who have won unopposed of MP and MLAs are from the Congress party. Majority of them are from Congress party. Winning unopposed, I don't know why they are portraying it.
It's not a new phenomenon. It happens quite a bit. But
I can just add to that.
Yes.
Just one quick line to add to what Varun said. You keep talking about unopposed. I think it's such bad management of the opposition that you did not have candidates there. Why did we win? Because you didn't even have the basic foresight to have your own candidates there.
No, but aren't you using muscle flexing
nobody
as they
needs
claim?
to use. Shivani, elections is about haar and jeet, or jo jeeta wahi Sikandar. Where is your strategy? Where are your candidates, and what was your vision plan? Just to say Marathi Manus, and you don't even have candidates in the constituencies where we have won unopposed.
Mahesh ji, please respond to that, but I also want you to come to this whole issue of how environment was used to quote-unquote stall development in the past tenure of the government. But first on this.
Yeah, firstly, regarding these unopposed candidates, see, it is what they are talking about, what this gentleman is talking about is one person. He is giving one example of Congress MLA or one example of...
I gave 194.
Just let me complete.
But
Let me complete.
Himself won unopposed,
in one election, before even the elections are taking place, there are 70 unopposed candidates, and not only opposition, but the Election Commission of India is having probes into it. So he has to reconsider what he said. Secondly, about the development and about the pollution because of the stalling and whatever they are claiming. See, recently, last week, what was the air AQI?
It's still quite bad actually. There's
Yeah,
no
so
denying it.
even after completion of the coastal road and so many metros, if this is the AQI, is it only because of the stalling of metros, because of RA, cutting the trees in RA?
Maybe after that RA episode, maybe Swapnil can respond to this. Speaking to Mumbaikars, I get a sense that they realize that maybe the long-term benefit of that metro being completed on time, as they are experiencing now, would have been greater than the cost that we had to pay because of whatever forests or trees were cut.
Well, absolutely, Shivani. The point is very simple, that you have to think long term. If you're thinking about this city, just 200 years ago, they put things under New Jersey City, and then New York, they connected. There was a connectivity because the people out there envisioned that, a lot of immigrants are going to come, and that's why America is what it is today, because of the infrastructure. What we lack is not talent. What we lack is infrastructure. And the point is that today there is a buffet of metro, and there is a choice between the local trains.
Exactly.
And it's very simple to say that you have Maruti, 800 people who drive it more than the ones who drive Toyota Altis or a Toyota Camry, or as opposed to then go to a BMW or go to a Mercedes or things like that, higher and up. So the point what I'm trying to make is, Shivani, that the long-term benefit and the question of pollution is a valid point, because Mumbai has never suffered from so many cases of pharyngitis as they used to. So I want to be objective about it, but this is one thing which China will have to look into, when it comes to the fact that there are absolutely unregulated digging up of roads which have been dug up last year have been dug up again. And I have absolutely no idea why that is being done. I do not want to get into the mechanics.
And secondly,
hello, may I finish? So my point is very simple, that you have a reasonable, a viable point or an issue behind digging of roads.
Fair enough.
Yes, and you want to inconvenience people, that's fine. But day after day, year after year, 25 saal tak
Every year it cannot be that. Shana, I'll come
and
to
it's the
Varun
same roads.
first and then Mahesh.
It's the same roads.
Same roads.
It's
I just have
irritating.
2 points to make. Firstly, one to his unopposed thing. Their unopposed acting is very selective. Why? Because in Malegaon, Islam party, where they are the strongest, that party won unopposed. They didn't give a candidate over there. Who was carrying that party? Islam party is not even part of the government. Just because it supports their narrative, they are going to say that it is. And secondly, not disagreeing with him, but it is a very elitist way to say कि Camry में चलने वाला और Alto में चलने वाला. Mumbaikars want peace. That is the reason they are willing to spend. When AC trains, local trains came in, there were a lot of people who were saying, कौन जाएगा? इनके पार्टी का MLA Jitendra Awad, who opposed it. And because of whom many AC trains and Central Line were cancelled. You won't believe people came on the streets, are complaining every day. You go and see on social media. His party has been dead against development. His party was the one who brought in toll on the coastal road, on the Sea Link. It was inaugurated in 2010 June. It was his party that brought in toll. No?
Okay.
We now blame others.
But Mahesh, can I ask you one question? You're with the Shiv Sena, the UBT faction, the MNS. Fine, MNS, I don't know how much impact you think they're going to have. You can tell us honestly. But don't you think the burden of the anti-incumbency, when it comes to BMC, will fall on the UBT faction, and you may get hurt because of that? It's not going to fall on the Fadnavis, BJP, Eknath Shinde combined.
Two things here. Firstly, 4 years of administrative rule without elected corporators, the blame should go on BJP and Shiv Sena government, because it is run by them, not by elected corporators. And secondly, 2022, Eknath Shinde faction got separated from UBT. They were a part of UBT government whom they are blaming themselves now. They delayed, so she was a part of that government. So she is blaming her own government. So what is this?
May I just please say, if we get into back and forth, we will never look at the road ahead. And Shivani, you raised a very important point, which is on concretization of roads. And I want to give you the official statement of Eknath Ji Shinde. Because for citizens to know, there are 1,224 kilometers of road that need to be concretized in Mumbai, of which 700 have been fully completed. And Swapnil, you talked about digging. There will be no digging because the systems are such that IIT has given been in phase 1, 397 kilometers of roads at 6,000 crores spent, and phase 2, 377 and 7,600 crores. Completed
undug roads.
Completed undug
Where
roads.
are they? I've travelled through the city of Mumbai, Shaina.
Shivani, so hear me out. No, if it's 1,224 kilometers, of which 700 have been totally completed, audited, and this is being monitored by IIT. So no digging ducts from the side so that you don't even have to redo it. Why
Varun
was
is
it that
shaking
in
his
25 years, 1 minute, why was it in 25 years you were hand in glove and your only eye is on a cash-rich BMC because it is the 5th largest municipal corporation in Asia? You have chosen to only eye on what contractors do, and that is the corruption of the opposition.
No, I think the
And
legacy
today
issue
sitting
will lie with
and-
the UBT because these are not issues that have cropped up in the last 4 years. These are legacy issue as well.
I have a point
Yes,
to that.
go ahead.
So last 25 years, BJP was
BJP
their
was there.
partner.
It wasn't the
Yeah,
major
it
player,
was, it
but
was their
UBT
partner.
was the one that is known for controlling
So,
BJP.
so both the parties,
BMC.
so
Who
both
is
the
the
parties.
standing committee chairman? You have to understand, BMC doesn't run
No, let
by
me
his
complete,
individual.
let me complete. Both
It is
the
standing
parties-
committee chairman and
both the
pointing to
parties-
what
both the
China said
parties for
now.
that matter.
Road, okay.
Yeah, both the parties for that matter should be blamed. BJP and them, because they were partners
I'll tell you
not
what.
only in BMC.
I'll tell you what. I'll
They
tell you what the
contested all the
difference is.
elections
Solution that
together.
has no solution.
Okay. No, the problem for you is that at least the BJP, when in government in the state, has a track record to show that they can push developmental projects.
Okay.
You didn't have
Okay,
that
now-
when you were
And
in
the
power with the
administration
Let me-
has
now
done
let me
so.
answer to this
From
question.
2017, there have not even been elections, and despite that, all these facilities that I'm talking about, who doesn't want better healthcare? Who doesn't want Apla Davakhana? Do you know that 357
Have you ever been to
clinics
BMC hospitals?
which are not... Sir,
They
do
are
you know in
overcrowded,
days to come,
understaffed.
in
What about
days
that?
to come, everything is cashless, and the fact that you have services which are being provided.
Why metro
do
is
you
not
know
cashless
how
for
many
poor people then?
minority children in BMC schools
Yeah,
have
then they are
been
talking,
given
they are talking as
scholarships
per
and
their-
have gone
Why-
overseas to Ivy
No,
Leagues?
then how it works? Do you mean to say that all these development projects like metro and coastal road are not being delayed by this government? When was it supposed to be completed? Before these elections, right? It is yet to be completed. Just a moment. Just a moment. Just a moment. Just a moment. We completed that Andheri to Ghatkopar metro during our reign, right? Now, when they are talking about whatever it is, how long it is taking? What about what? No, sir, that's what I'm saying.
Shivani, my very short point is that the last 4 years we've seen tremendous progress in this city. There is no doubt about it. The way the coastal roads have come up, the way the metro has come up. Now, as far as trying to make it to a cashless aspect,
By
Germany-
cashless, we mean transactions are cashless or it's free.
Right,
Let's
no,
be
no,
clear.
what he means is possibly that
Free.
you go...
free for the poor.
Correct.
He's asking for free for the poor.
No,
that's
that's
very
not gonna
different.
happen.
This is what I'm saying.
He wants
I'm
free.
saying that.
No,
I'm talking
it's-
about a common man.
No,
I'm not talking about the elite class.
I
I'm talking
No,
about.
my point is that I don't think that we are that rich. Even, if you compare the most developed countries, that we can afford completely free transport unless we tax people so heavily, which we are not doing so. Like the way the other countries do, like 50% and 60% like Norway and things like that, they give everything free. But the population is there, that's the biggest challenge. So to compare, it will be comparing apples and oranges.
But metro
one of
is
the
not
point,
free anywhere.
Correct.
In
It
Delhi
is
also
never
it's not
free.
free.
It'll, may I finish? Sure. See, my point is very simple. That you need to focus on any unfinished project which is there. Now, who do you attribute delay to? You can do that till the cows come home. Bottom line is what you are doing if you come into power and what you're going to do.
Are you being seen
Are
as
you being
being
serious?
expediting those
Exactly, as doing it. Okay, fair enough. X didn't do it. I'm doing it. But what has happened in the last 4 years has never happened in the city of Mumbai. There is no question about it.
Thing that people are saying is today you have 5,000 electric buses, you have BST buses,
Let's talk about
you
that
have
also.
railways,
Let's talk
you
about
have
that
autos, you have the metro, and you have the option of driving in your car.
Let's talk.
These are all options. These are options which enable
point
a
to
better
that.
No,
atmosphere,
but can I ask you the
less
question?
carbon emission,
Can
and
I ask
that's
you,
the
the
point.
question that public would want is that, they are very clear. Their image is pro-development, quick delivery of projects, etc., etc. They are going to say, we've done this. No excuses. Okay, we hope so, because if we were to control the BMC, there will be a lot of pressure on you. But Maheshji, the question people would ask is, what is your vision? If they are not doing well enough, what is the alternative?
This city should be livable. This city, or every Mumbaiker, whether he's a poor or rich person, they should afford all the development. They should they should be benefited by all the development, like whatever the buses see for the public transportation, what they are talking about. Do you think in Mumbai the public transportation is good enough? The best buses? How much time you have to wait for the best buses? Are there enough best buses to cater to the?
पहले क्यों नहीं किया? Shiv
So
Sena
that's what I'm saying.
How long have they been in power in BMC?
So that's what I'm saying. See, we are not against development. Now see. Now let me talk. Let me finish, right? So metro was started by whom? By our government. Coastal road, whose idea it was? Ask China and see. It was UBT's idea. So we are not against. So whose idea was it?
Okay.
Whose idea was it?
I don't want to get into this.
Devendra Fadnavis.
Final few minutes. I want to ask Varun. Currently, what do you think are the biggest issues that Mumbaikars would be pressing the new BMC to get on? With urgency.
There are multiple issues. Firstly, they want to get rid of those roads dug. I agree with Shaina on certain points, but I disagree with her that roads are not dug. The biggest problem is recently there was an article. The road that was laid hardly a month or 2 months ago was again dug up, and that is across the city. We need to find a solution for it. That is very pathetic, and that we need to get rid of it. And we need to. The biggest thing that the politicians who come in need to do is handle the bureaucrats well, because lot of corruption in BMC. You need to get rid of that, and that only can be done if the higher level officers are going to be, उनको अच्छे तरीके से बांध के रखोगे तो ही ये corruption कम होगा.
Swapnil.
Cleaning of garbage. There is a lot of garbage. There is a lot of play. We are not a clean city by any stretch of imagination.
I will attest to it.
Not.
Unfortunately.
We need to.
Shaina NC, I will only end on this parting shot. You talked about center, state and BMC. So if they were to get a triple engine sarkar, as it would be if they
triple the accountability.
It will be triple
the
accountability,
triple the transparency and zero corruption.
And we'll all hold them to task, no question about it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they'll do a wonderful job overall.
Okay.
Because overall, I always look at the overall perspective. Nuks nikalne to hamesha nikal sakte ho aap yaar.
Well, Mumbai has a lot of issues. We can't always pack them in, but I do thank all of our guests for joining us, and thanks a lot for watching our Mumbai BMC special.
In a city that never sleeps, every decision matters. From roads to drains, from safety to services, every rupee counts. One alliance versus fractured opposition. Who will Mumbai choose? Ballot Maximum City. Complete coverage on CNN News 18. This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
What happened when the demolition drive was underway? Can you detail for our viewers? Also, what has the investigation found so far? Because 5 individuals have already been arrested for stone pelting.
True. It was around 12:50 when MCD was about to start the demolition. There were incident of stone pelting reported from this Chandni Mahal area. There were a few miscreants, maybe around 80 to 100 in number, and they started pelting stones towards the police party. However, we had an adequate deployment. We followed the graded use of force. We used our tear shells, and they scattered, and we immediately detained and apprehended 5 of them. And thereafter, in a matter of minutes, they all scattered, and the entire process of encroachment removal carried on peacefully thereafter. That it started around 1 a.m. in the midnight and continued till 7 in the midnight. And at the moment also, there is complete normalcy, and the process of debris removal is being carried out.
So 5 individuals have been arrested. How many more do you suspect were part of the stone pelting act itself? And what stage is the investigation is at?
See, we have registered the case. 5 persons we have arrested. They are being produced to the magistrate. We are also investigating the conspiracy angle. Why there were some social media posts also which were instigating or asking the residents to come out and protest. So we are investigating those social media posts also, and then we have body-worn cameras with our police officers on duty. So we are checking the images from those body-worn cameras. At the moment, apart from these 5 arrests, more than